Hey folks, welcome back. Ben here. We're going to go through some comments and see what you've been asking. Lots of good comments and some really good questions coming up. So let's have a look through. Tender EU said, I have the same problem on my Aovo Pro scooter. I'm planning on opening it. The inside is not the same. Do you think just unplugging the battery and plugging it back in would solve the problem? I think I commented on this, didn't I? And I said no, I don't think it would. Maybe. It's always possible. But I think no, probably not. The scooters, essentially, most of them are the same though. There's a controller, a speed controller. Sometimes it has Bluetooth connectivity, and like on the M365. And then there's a battery and a motor, and a couple of thumb controls. Mostly the same. It might not look the same, but largely they kind of have the same sort of setup principles. So I don't think so, but it could do. I think 30%, yes, it might fix it. Stanislav Kozar said, where can I buy this controller? You can buy the controller for most electric scooters, particularly the M365. You can buy them on AliExpress, very cheap. Just make sure when you're looking on AliExpress, or maybe on Wish or Banggood, they're all kind of the same. Just make sure that you're buying a controller that has, 4, 4.5, 5 stars on the reviews, and just try and make. I mean, there are lots of places, shops on there that will sell the control boards. So you may as well just pick one that has 300 or 1,000 or 3,000 or 5,000 reviews. There's no reason to get one from a seller that has 10 reviews. So you can sort of buy with a bit of peace of mind that it will be a half decent product. Typically they're about 30 or 40 Australian dollars for the control boards for an M365. A little bit more for the Pro version, but actually they're actually very, very similar, almost the same product. So don't be fooled. I mean, you could actually just buy, I guess you could buy the M365 controller and just alter a couple of MOSFETs and chunk up the tracer. Be done with it. Maybe that'd be alright, I don't know. Maybe you could comment, let me know if you think that would work. I think it might do. But yeah, I went to a shop locally to get a control board for an M365, just the standard one, and I think it was $100. Or you can go on AliExpress and buy one and wait a month, and it's $30 or $40. So I know what I'd do. And it will inevitably, even if you got a genuine one, it would break eventually. So yeah, I'd buy the one from China, I reckon. Okay, so Niels Fram said, appreciate your effort. The water, and this was on this was on a video of mine called how to make your Xiaomi M365 electric scooter last forever. And I talk about taking it to pieces and just spraying it in silicone spray with PTFE in it. And Niels Fram said, appreciate your effort. The water can enter your start button and fry your dashboard. Very true. It's best to cover it with transparent scotch tape or silicone cover. Also, places where wires enter the frame can leak inside and drip on the wires all the way into the board. Should insulate those rubber covers for the wires. Water can enter the main motor in the front wheel, so if you go into a puddle or rain pours heavily there, it can cause big damage. Motor runs up to 25 amps. Not sure if the voltage is 42 volts or 100 volts, but a short circuit will certainly fry something, at least a fuse or even driver MOSFETs. So even insulated in the chassis, there are still peripherals that can get shorted and ruin the scooter. Using it during the rain is not a good idea. At most, after the rain stops, and being careful not to ride through puddles. Yeah, that's a good idea. Generally, I think you should probably just not ride a scooter ever in the wet if you can help it. But of course, if you're in a country where it's kind of warm and dry, and you're on your way back home from work or school, and you get caught off guard and it's wet, I probably wouldn't stop to walk. So finish your ride. But I would avoid riding in the wet, because it's just not good, really. There are things you can do. You can put silicone around things, and you know, you can actually put genuine silicone around the frame at the bottom when you screw the panel on. So you could use RTV sealant, which is an adhesive silicone sealant, and then you put the bottom cover on and then screw it. That's actually what you can put on car engines to seal in the oils and stuff. That's a good product. That's good. Or you could probably just use regular kitchen sealant, and because that will have some level of stick to it, and just put it underneath. Maybe that would also be a good idea to use some RTV sealant on the rim that you can take off the side of the motor, and you could undo the bolts, pull it off, put some silicone in there, and then put the screws back in. I think that would be a half decent idea. I don't know if it would be a full-on solution, but I think it would be a decent idea. I'd do it. I would. Yeah. So, and he makes some good points. Niels Fromm, he makes some good points. Water can get into scooters in a lot of places. It's an issue. Tim Z. Broek. Sorry, I pronounced your name wrong, probably. Hi, when riding, I did a hard braking with KERS mode on strong, and the brake, it's stuck, or it's like it's stuck. The scooter is not even on, and it's still like braking. I think it's internal in the motor because the BMS doesn't remark any issues. It's not accelerating anymore. Maybe you could help me find a solution. In the KERS mode is broken because the scooter is not on any power, and still the motor is braking. Please help. Yeah, I haven't replied to that, Tim. Sorry. That was a month ago. This is exactly why I wanted to do a video, so I can directly just say what I think to you. I think, if I was to make a guess, the issue would be the control board. It's, you know, the motors are very simple. All the wiring connections usually are alright, but they can also be an issue. So it could be one of, you know, maybe one of the phase wires has come off or something like that. It could be, I would have to say I'm 80% sure that it would be the control board. And you know, it's if you were to fix the control board at component level, you could do that if you know what you're doing and you have the tools and you feel confident, but it's actually quite hard to do that sort of thing. I really recommend people learn how to do that sort of thing because it's a big part of the future, I think. Component level repairs on electronics. You know, but I mean, the easy thing to do is just go on AliExpress and order a new control board. And maybe, you know, I'm one person, this is just my opinion, but that's what I would imagine is the issue. And yeah, maybe you could get a couple of other people's opinions. Also, to anyone who's got an issue with their scooter, you're quite welcome to go on Google and just type in repair cafe and go on the website and search for your local repair cafe. So there is, if you don't know what that is, it's a group of volunteers. They don't say that they're experts, they're not necessarily experts, but they're just handy, and they are a group of people that meet up maybe once a week or once a month at a place, and like a community village hall or something like that, and people can just go and take things in, and you can ask them to try and fix it, or at least diagnose you or point you in the right direction of what needs to be done. And there are, you know, a heap of people there that have tools, and you know, they'll help you try and figure it out. So that might be a good thing to do. I really do think the repair cafe is a great idea. On simple, okay, so on my video, simplest power loss fix and battery upgrade, Xiaomi M365, somebody's put, Orinus has said, any chance you made that rubber grommet yet? No, I didn't. I forgot, sorry. And also I sold that scooter for another one, and you know, I've had lots of scooters. So no, I didn't. But it would be quite easy to do that, and also if you wanted to do it in a sort of easy, simple way, a very easy way to make a good tight seal for a grommet, you could use most kitchen sealants, but it's recommended to use RTV silicone sealant. and so it's kind of like silicone sealant, but it's adhesive, and so you could kind of just squirt that in or around a wire where it's sort of coming to a hole, and just leave it overnight, and it will dry, and that's a grommet. That's good. That's what I reckon. So, and I can't even remember talking about that in that video. So, user Haych, that's the user's name. He said, "Hello, on my AOVO Pro M365, I keep getting the error message E3. Does anyone know what this means, or an easy fix for it?" No, I've no idea. Sorry, but you can Google that and find out. Or if someone's feeling nice and generous, they'll let you know. They'll comment on that. That's on the Xiaomi M365 most common problems video. I think, yeah, E3, there is a list of what the codes mean, I think, and so I think it is on the internet. You can search for that. But yeah, if you have no luck, just comment again and I'll get back to you on that, or email me. So Bar6Full said, "Hey boys, I'm in Brisbane and wanting also to do an EV Beetle. Do you sell a kit?" No. I just made a video talking about it and showing you it, but I think there are kits for doing that to some degree, I think, by, is it some sort of American company? I can't remember what they're called, maybe EV West, I think. I don't know. I don't think there's a general kit you can buy for the Beetle and just put it in, but I know that there are components that you can buy, like a motor kit, and then you have to source the batteries, and then there might be a kit to hold the batteries or something. I don't really know. Sorry. Okay, so Kevin Arts said, the reason with the cooling, this is on a video called Xiaomi M365 Most Common Problems. Kevin said, the reason with the cooling is because the water resistant rating things need to be sealed for that. And he means basically for the scooter to have a level of water resistance, it needs to be quite sealed up, which is not ideal for getting some decent airflow into the scooter because things will get hot. So it's like, what do you do? I know that on the M365 Scooter, the control board, when you take it off, on the top of it, it has thermal paste, and it's actually bolted to the frame, so it uses the frame as a heat sink to kind of get the heat to leave the control board. So it comes off the MOSFET into the frame of the control board box, into the frame of the scooter. There is no air cooling, of course, but that's because they wanted it to be a little bit water resistant. But like, if you're like me, I wouldn't ride in the wet, and if it looks like it's going to rain in the next couple of hours, I just wouldn't go out. So I would be quite happy to have big air gaps and put a fan in mine. But yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So a user here, I can't pronounce your name because it's in different writing, but you said, please, I cleaned the scooter with water and it's not working. Can it be repaired? Thank you. Somebody commented on that and said no, but that's not necessarily true. So there is probably a level of damage, that's for sure. So depends where you washed the scooter. Probably if you washed around the bottom area, probably I would imagine there's no damage. But if you've washed up where the dashboard is, you can easily just put the plastic bit on top where the button is, that just pops off. It's just got adhesive around it. So, and all the parts on the top there, the dashboard, chipboard, and the glass cover, all very cheap to replace. So, yeah, you could have a look. If there's any corrosion, try and wipe it off, get some alcohol, clean it, and maybe you'll be able to fix it without buying anything. Just by wiping it and making sure that there's no corrosion, too much corrosion visible. But yeah, you might need to replace the board on top. I'd imagine if you, depends on how it's broken as well. Maybe it does turn on, maybe it lights up, and then you press go and it doesn't go, in which case it might be a motor or a dodgy connection. So for that sort of thing, I think if you aren't able to do it yourself and diagnose it and fix it, something like a repair cafe would be ideal, because you could just take it to some people in a room and they'll take it to pieces to a degree and do some tests, have a look around, see what they can figure out, and kind of help you in the right direction. And it's free. Going to the repair cafe around the world, they're free, so that's pretty good. And yeah, I recommend doing that. Sorry I can't help you anymore, but that's what I think. Okay, another user, I can't spell it, pronounce it, but I think your channel is called Neguino. You said, my scooter turns off out of nowhere and only turns on again when I plug the charger in, and it's happening often. Do you have any idea what it is, please? Please, great video, but I'm not a tech person. Yeah, a few people have commented on there, and I would imagine, I would guess, my first guess would be there's a sort of issue with the connection on the battery, so I'd probably take the bottom cover. It depends what scooter too, but I would take the bottom off the cover and look at the battery connections, and with a very, very, very close eye look at every millimetre of all of the connections up and down the battery 2 or 3 times, and just make sure there's no cracks there. So the nickel plating that they use sometimes can just crack, and so sometimes you look at it and it doesn't look like there's an issue, and then if you pick the battery up in a certain way, the crack can just open up slightly and then it loses connection, and maybe your scooter thinks there isn't enough battery voltage or something like that. It could be that. That's what I would guess. Otherwise, probably a control board issue again. But so many people have issues on their scooters, and the most common responses from me is probably a control board, because it really is that's the complex part, I think. The motor, quite simple. The battery, relatively simple. Connections and wires, quite simple. And the other issue would be the control board. And I think that is the most common issue. Somebody called Nake K commented and said, great video. Do you know where I can find the Bluetooth module antenna? Probably eBay or AliExpress or Banggood or Wish.com. I would probably just use AliExpress. That's my go-to, that's what I do. So I'd probably try that. Also, this is a comment I saw a few people make. Somebody called Boss Havate said, on my video, simplest power loss fix and battery upgrade, Xiaomi M365. They said at 8 minutes and 2 seconds, they think they can see smoke. I don't know. I don't know about that. There was no smoke when I was there filming it. So, but I went back and looked at that, and kind of does look a bit like there's a little poof of smoke. Anyway, if you have no idea what I'm on about, just look at the video, let me know. But I think it's fine. Yeah, thanks for watching the video, everyone. This is another video. I'm going to make one a week, maybe more, from now. I do have Patreon if you want to support the channel, and yeah, all the equipment I use here and in every video I put a list to on from AliExpress or Amazon, and they're affiliate links, so if you buy something through them I get a little bit of money. Yeah, thanks for watching. Until the next video, which will be in a few days time or more, thanks for watching.